Cowboys Nation, welcome back, and buckle up, because today we are breaking down one of the most refreshing and brutally honest moments of this preseason as Brian Schottenheimer, the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator, stepped up to the mic and didn't hold back. We've heard plenty of coach speak over the years, the kind of vague, watered-down answers that sound nice but don't really tell you anything. But this time, Schotty kept it really real on the Cowboys' preseason debut, on the battle for spots on the 53-man roster, on the development of rookie quarterback Joe Milton, and more. This wasn't just a bland media session, it was a coach peeling back the curtain, giving fans insight into what's working, what's not, and what this team is trying to build heading into the season. And trust me, Cowboys fans, if you're hungry for the kind of raw, detailed football talk that doesn't sugarcoat reality, you're going to love every second of this breakdown. Let's start with the preseason debut itself. Now, as fans, it's easy to overreact to every drive, every drop, every penalty flag thrown during August football. We've been starving for meaningful snaps for months, so when those first preseason games hit, the microscope is intense. But Schottenheimer approached it with a level head while still being candid about the performance. He praised the energy and effort, which you expect from a young group hungry to make the team, but he didn't shy away from pointing out the sloppiness that needs cleaning up. According to Schotty, there were too many missed assignments and not enough crisp execution early on, especially on offense. He didn't dance around it, he flat out said some guys weren't in the right spots. And that's just not going to cut it when you're trying to win a roster job. That's the kind of honesty that not only resonates with fans but also sends a clear message to players. This isn't a participation trophy camp, you either perform, or you don't make the cut. One of the biggest storylines Schottenheimer touched on was the 53-man roster battle. And let me tell you, this is shaping up to be one of the most competitive camp battles we've seen in recent years. The Cowboys have depth at multiple positions: wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line, and that means some talented players are going to be on the outside looking in come cutdown day. Schotty acknowledged this reality, saying straight up that some guys who can play in the NFL won't make this roster because of the sheer competition. He stressed that special teams performance is going to be a huge factor in those final decisions, which is classic preseason reality but something fans often forget. If you're a bubble player, you better be willing to run downfield on kick coverage, block on punts, or return kicks, because that versatility could be the difference between making the team or getting that dreaded phone call from the front office. Then, there's the topic of Joe Milton, the rookie quarterback who's been generating buzz with his cannon of an arm. Schottenheimer didn't hold back in talking about Milton's development. He acknowledged that the rookie has raw talent that you can't teach: size, arm strength, mobility, but also pointed out that playing quarterback in the NFL is as much about processing speed and decision-making as it is about throwing deep bombs. He mentioned that Milton's footwork and timing still need refinement, and that he's working closely with quarterbacks coach Scott Tolzien to tighten up those mechanics. But here's where Schotty's honesty really stood out. He made it clear that Milton's future is about patience. This isn't a situation where the rookie is going to come in and start pushing Dak Prescott for reps anytime soon. This is a developmental year, a chance to learn the system, get comfortable with NFL speed, and absorb everything possible without the pressure of being thrown into the fire too soon. And frankly, that's a smart and grounded approach. Of course, Schottenheimer also had plenty to say about the veterans and how their presence is shaping this camp. He praised Dak Prescott's leadership, noting that even when Dak isn't taking preseason snaps, he's essentially acting as another coach on the sideline, talking to receivers, offering pointers to the offensive line, and mentoring Milton. He talked about how CeeDee Lamb's work ethic is setting the tone for the younger receivers, and how the offensive line veterans are making sure the new guys understand the standard. But again, there was no fluff. He admitted the offense still has a lot of timing issues to iron out, particularly when it comes to the rhythm between quarterbacks and receivers. Preseason or not, Schotty made it clear that they expect a certain sharpness, and they're not there yet. Another key point Schottenheimer touched on was the balance between evaluating players and installing the offense. In preseason, it's easy to get caught up in running vanilla plays to avoid showing your hand before the regular season. But Schotty said that while they are keeping things basic schematically, they're still demanding execution at a high level. That means players have to run routes crisply, block correctly, and protect the football, even if the playbook isn't fully opened up. He emphasized that mistakes in execution are far more concerning than the limitations of the preseason game plan, because those are the habits that carry over into meaningful games. The conversation also drifted toward position battles on offense, and one that stood out was the running back competition behind Tony Pollard. Schottenheimer spoke highly of Rico Dowdle's physicality and Malik Davis's vision, while also noting that rookie Deuce Vaughn continues to make plays despite his size. He said straight up that pass protection is going to be a deciding factor for who gets those backup spots, because if you can't keep Dak or any quarterback clean, you won't be seeing much action on Sundays. That's a reality that fans sometimes overlook when they're dazzled by highlight runs. Schotty also gave some love to the defense, even though that's not his side of the ball. He acknowledged how challenging it is to practice against the Dan Quinn defense, saying it forces the offense to think and adjust constantly. He mentioned that facing Micah Parsons and that ferocious pass rush every day in practice is a blessing in disguise, because if you can survive against them, you can survive against anyone in the league. That's the kind of iron sharpens iron mentality that can pay off big once the regular season kicks off. As the press conference wrapped up, Schottenheimer's tone made it clear this isn't a team content with just being good. They're aiming for great, and that means brutal honesty in the evaluation process. He's not afraid to point out when players mess up, but he's also quick to highlight the guys who are doing things the right way. That kind of balance is what earns respect in a locker room, because players know where they stand and what's expected of them. For Cowboys fans, hearing Schotty keep it real should be refreshing. It's a reminder that behind the preseason hype and the media narratives, the coaching staff is laser-focused on building a roster that can compete for a championship. The road to that goal is paved with tough decisions, relentless competition, and honest evaluations. And if this first preseason outing was any indication, this team has both the talent and the leadership to make some serious noise once the real games begin. So as we move deeper into the preseason and the 53-man roster picture starts to come into focus, keep an eye on the battles Schottenheimer talked about. Watch how Joe Milton progresses, see which receivers and running backs separate themselves, and pay attention to who makes plays on special teams. These little moments in August might not seem like much now, but they're the building blocks of the season to come. Cowboys Nation, if Schotty's words told us anything, it's this: the competition is fierce, the expectations are high, and the standard in Dallas isn't changing anytime soon. And that, my friends, is exactly what you want to hear if you're hoping this is the year the Cowboys finally make that deep playoff run. So stay locked in, enjoy the ride, and remember the real work is just getting started. And before you head out, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates as the Cowboys preseason story continues to unfold.